The Brewhouse was created to capture and share with you the long history of the Genesee Brewery. But the brewery itself isn't half as interesting as the beer and the people who make it. Visit GeneseeBrewhouse.com. Welcome to the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brewhouse, and we are at the Genesee Brewhouse this week, and happy to welcome Kevin oklobzija back. Last time we were here, you were here. I wonder if there's
Let's make this a habit.
Kevin oklobzija, Mike Catalana.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Co-hosting along with, who we got today?
It's Syracuse basketball, Trevor Cooney, authentic jersey. Love Trevor Cooney. Who didn't love Trevor Cooney? By the way, playing
I like
in...
Jerry Cooney.
Okay, could you be more old guy right now? Jerry Cooney.
Well, Trevor played, what, about 7 years at Syracuse?
It seems like he was there forever, right?
Yeah. Should I act my age or pretend I'm something I'm not?
What do you want, please?
Nice uniform.
Thank you.
Kevin, let's talk Super Bowl. Over,
Even
just
though Mike
generally.
Want to.
Yeah, he will, and he'll get his chance.
Yeah. He's disappointed he doesn't have an Eagles jersey.
Tell us, well, he's above that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
no, he's not. Okay.
What do you think? Pretty good game.
I thought the Patriots were doomed as soon as Tom Brady mentioned that his mother's family was from Minnesota. Because the Vikings have no chance of ever getting or winning a Super Bowl. And as soon as he brought up the family, and that was it. Done.
I mean, this is really why we bring him in, right?
Yeah. Give us the Minnesota
For something
perspective
substantive.
Well, it's true. Awesome game. Unbelievable. I mean, it really was. It captivated the fan who didn't have a rooting interest from beginning to end.
Is this NFL football as we're going to come to know it now?
Well,
one punt in a game and all this offense.
No, I don't think so. I think it was circumstances in that game. You had two well put together offenses. Brady was unbelievable in the game, and I shouldn't say unbelievable. He was Brady at the top of his game until the very end when the Eagles finally got to him. And Doug Peterson has done, that's why I said to you guys, Belichick's the best coach. I think he's the best coach ever, but Peterson had the best season this year.
He had the best game.
Well, I mean, he
did a heck of a job in that game.
He had a great game against the Vikings, too. He manipulated that offense in the Atlanta game when Foles was just getting himself together. So in total, all those factors, indoor, on that carpet, 2 weeks to prepare. I don't think it'll always be like that, but it was certainly enjoyable to see.
Hopefully it's like that when you know the other team, what they're capable of.
Yeah.
So don't punt when you're at the 45. Go for it. Take some chances. Play the odds that make sense, not the old school book.
You see any of this stuff sticking?
I mean, I don't know. The reason it was so brilliant for Doug Peterson is the risks that he took worked. Could you imagine if Nick Foles dropped that Philly special touchdown catch?
Like
or if,
Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly. Or if them going for it on fourth down at the 50 didn't work, he looks like a complete moron.
Well, Pat makes a good point. The fourth down play at the 50, that kind of gets lost a little bit. Pressure on Foles. He makes the play. They get 2.5 yards when they needed 2.
And a great catch, too.
I
mean, that wasn't an easy to hang on to.
The touchdown to Foles, if you've seen the video of him, he suggests the play, calls it Philly special. That was the play they had worked on. Torrey Smith was wide open in the end zone, too. And they really fooled the Patriots. But Eagle fans know, if you watch this team all year, it's the way Peterson coaches. I don't know if he'll ever get to another Super Bowl, win another Super Bowl, how long he'll last. But what should last is the mentality, because it can work. He is a aggressive guy when he had faith in your team, and he had faith in his players, and he had faith. But his mindset all season, even last year, he got criticized. He went for it on fourth down. He went for touchdowns instead of field goals. I think that can last. And I think teams are going to look at it and say, if you talk about analytics, they're going to start weighing that and going, hey, we can put more pressure on the other team with our offense than we can with our defense.
That's the last word?
I mean, I just think that, yeah, you're right there, but against the Patriots it works because the Patriots will do that to you. I think that if you take too many risks in games where it doesn't matter like that and you start piling up statistics versus statistics, then it eventually evens itself out and you don't look as smart as you think you are.
Because he did it against the Vikings. He did it on a fourth down. He went for it, and that's a great defense with the Vikings in that game. No, that has been his MO the whole time. Sure, he could have gotten criticism, but he would have been criticized more for not being that way because he would have changed his style.
If you don't make both those plays, you don't win the game. Last thing,
Yeah.
you went to Philadelphia, family.
Yeah.
every year, 58 years, you said, like clockwork,
Yeah.
you win this thing. What was it like for you?
It was a lot of fun. 3 generations. You know, my dad's passed away, but my mom was there. She had one of his jerseys on. My nieces, nephews, brothers, and everybody was there. And, you know, I'll compare it. It was something you really started to think, this isn't going to happen for this fan base and this group. And be there with family, it was more fun for me than being at the game.
It's a Patriots game, a quote from Road to Perdition.
Right.
I'm glad it was you.
The best thing I saw post-game? The Patriots. To the pit of misery. Philly, Philly.
They did that, huh?
Yes.
See, I turned it right off.
Not on TV. It wasn't on TV.
Okay. This is the Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brew House. We're at the Genesee Brew House. Talk a little Buffalo Bills next. Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box. We are here at the Genesee Brew House, and it is our pleasure to welcome in Greg Connors, one of the true friends of Rochester area sports, especially high schools, for a little presentation. Mike Catalana was the winner, and you participated, of course, in our pick the NFL games throughout the season. This is fitting because the Philadelphia Eagles were Mike's team.
Yeah, I'm honored to be here because whenever I get in any competitions picking sports with Mike, he always trounces me. So the fact that he beat me soundly and the Hunter's Hope gets the benefit, I can't be happier.
Yeah, pretty cool. Your team won, and you were at the game. How cool is that?
It was a great game to be at. It was so much back and forth. The crowd was really into it. And it went right down to the last play, which is what you want every game to be. And as a Bills fan, I couldn't have been happier with the outcome.
Well, on behalf of Classy Wolf and with Mike Catalana's name on it, we're happy to present you with a $500 check that'll go towards Hunter's Hope. And Greg, as always, thank you for everything you do, and it's good to see you again.
Sure, no, it's our pleasure. And I know Jim and Jill greatly appreciate everything that you do to help out and the difference that you're making in kids' and families' lives. So thank you.
The Press Box, brought to you in part by Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Call 262-COMP, COMP, today. Our Buffalo Bills segment brought to you by Connors and Ferris. Pat, every name that became available, and there seems to be a lot of veteran quarterbacks, are attached in one way, at least for speculation, to the Buffalo Bills. Do any of these pieces fit to you?
Well, I mean, I don't know what piece fits because I don't know what new offensive coordinator Brian Daboll wants to do, and there are so many different things that alters the other things that can happen, right? You don't know if you're going to take a quarterback in the draft up high. If you do, that alters the kind of quarterback you bring in. You don't know what kind of offense Daboll wants to run. You don't know how much control McDermott has over what Daboll wants to do. If you want a guy in the locker room as a veteran who's going to help lead your team mentally, or you want a guy that has the arm that's going to go out there and win games for you, I think the choice that they make will let us know what's going to happen. I don't think anybody can predict anything, especially, Mike, you know this. There's nothing coming out of this franchise anymore. There's no leaks. There's no they're looking at this. Listen, man, I had guys giving me information for years that I should not have known. That ended the second that McDermott showed up. There's no way to know what the heck's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
With Marone.
I agree with Pat in this sense. You know, we're going to have free agency and there's going to be trades, and it is an off season. By far, the most quarterback movement we will have seen in the last 20 to 30 years of the NFL. I can't even remember a time when quality quarterbacks, guys who have been starters, who have played and had success, are going to be moving around. A lot of chess pieces. So who knows? The Bills may have an idea of what they want. Will signing a quarterback, I don't believe they're going after Kirk Cousins. I don't think they have any interest in spending that money.
Let Foles go.
Well, if I'm the Eagles, I sit back and go ahead, make me an offer, but I'm going to say no until a team doesn't get the guy they want and overpays for him. But the part
After the draft or before?
Might be even after the draft. Hey, look, they ended up trading Bradford under contract in the summer. All I'm saying is Nick Foles played really well, but a lot of it comes down to coaching. The Eagles have Peterson along with Frank Reich and DiFilippo, the quarterback's coach. They know how to handle quarterbacks. We don't know if the Bills know how to handle quarterbacks. We hope Brian Daboll does. We hope he hires the right kind of guy to go with it. That'll make a big difference. I really like Nick Foles. I love him after what he did these few weeks. You just throw him into a system and say, go play. You throw him into last year's Bills team, he's not going to have success.
Kevin, your wheelhouse, the Minnesota Vikings, seems to me they hold the key to everything because they got 3 guys.
They have 3 guys, but does anyone view any of them as the guy? I mean, Bradford came in, he was okay, but he's not mobile. Do we think... I just don't know what the belief is of the guys they have. Case Keenum was, boy, against the Eagles, he was...
Who starts for the Vikings next year? You know? Bradford? Keenum?
Teddy?
Teddy?
I really think they like him a lot.
Okay, but like you have the questions with Teddy and whether or not he can stay healthy. Sam Bradford is also a glass doll, and he may have his best NFL time behind him.
Correct.
I would think if you are the Vikings, based on what happened this year, roll the dice with Keenum. Roll with Keenum.
The question is Case Keenum that much less than Kirk Cousins, right? I mean, you've had Keenum in there. The Eagles game went totally the wrong way for them, but he had a really good year for him. He's won games. Kirk Cousins is an under 500 quarterback. I don't hate him. I just say because he's available, are you really paying Kirk Cousins guaranteed $140 million for a guy who's under 500 and throws interceptions? I wouldn't do it.
I do kind of think that Minnesota holds the key to all this.
Well,
when they decide what to do.
Because the problem is, though, all their guys are free agents, though, right? None of them are under contract for this year. That takes away a little of their leverage.
This is the Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brewhouse, and this portion was brought to you by Connors and Ferris. Like It or Not is next. Here's the Press Box trivia question brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390. Here's the Press Box trivia answer brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390. Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box. We are at the Genesee Brewhouse. Like it or not, Kevin is a veteran of many Winter Olympics, actually in person, the Winter Olympic Games.
I'm excited for some. I think it's fun. I do love the competition. The hockey has changed again. It's not like, we don't have any team to hate like the Soviets back in the 70s and the 80s, so there'll never be another Miracle on Ice. It's more like the 90s where the collegians and some minor pros came together. Peter Savaglia from the Amerks played 1 year. Greg Brown did. So it's great. We have a local guy, Brian Gianta, who the Friday night atmosphere, by the way, at that Amerk game last week, unbelievable. Unbelievable crowd, unbelievable moment. Crowds chanting USA, USA. It's fun to see that, but it's not the NHL anymore. So I think it takes a dip in people's impression of what this Olympic hockey will mean.
Oh, okay, you're going to cry?
No, you go ahead, mister. Hey, is that fun? I hate it because I'm Mike Catalana.
No, it's not about fun, but
the Bruins are back in hockey. They've always been there in the other sports. But for now, like David Leggio, he's never going to be on this stage. Now he's got a chance.
To the point Kevin's making, it's either the NHL guys who are the best in the world, or it's the opportunity to have a little David and Goliath, which obviously we had in 1980. We don't have either one of those. If Brian wasn't playing in the game, I think the interest here would be considerably down in the game, but we get a chance to see him play for the United States.
It's possible. Here's the thing. As much as I was upset with the NHL not sending their players, listen, we've seen it before. Some of these NHL guys just don't care, and they use it as a vacation to go spend a couple of weeks off with their buddies, right? Like, these guys care.
Correct. And the smaller countries, Slovenia, Latvia, those types of countries. Slovenia, I'm telling you, those types of teams, you're going to see upsets.
Slovenia.
Those guys have been together. That was one of the best games I saw was Slovenia beating Slovakia in
You didn't really
Sochi.
see Slovenia and Slovakia, did you really?
Tomato, Slovenia, Slovakia. But here's the thing, like, it doesn't have to be hockey. It's all of the sports. I don't follow any winter sports other than hockey. Yet when these sports come on, I have this rooting interest. I don't watch any ski jump, and I'll pop it on and go, oh, look at that. And in 20 minutes, I hate Belarus so much. I don't know where it is. I don't know what their primary export is, but so help me God, if Belarus wins that ski jump.
I know what their import is, beer. I've seen their fans.
Very good. And a shout out to Morgan Shield, right? Moguls, Pittsford Sutherland. We did a Sports Beat story on her as a softball player for playing for Pittsford Sutherland.
Good for her. Good luck to her.
This is the Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brew House. We're at the Brew House. Unfinished Business is next.
How we doing? Got the usuals.
The usuals.
The usual?
You know it.
Your usual.
Cream and sugar, caramel.
Large dice.
At Dunkin' Donuts, we'll make sure it's just the way you like it every time. America runs on Dunkin'.
Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box from the Genesee Brew House. Time for Unfinished Business, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Pat.
I was having an argument about this with a unnamed checkered jacket wearing gentleman who may or may not be here with us right now. Brian Giunta, playing for the Amex the other night, scoring in the Blue Cross Arena in front of 10,000 people, was the greatest moment in Rochester sports history. And here's the thing about minor league sports. As much as I love going to see the Wings and the Amerks, there are championships there. Championships don't really matter to people in minor league sports. I remember going to Calder Cup playoff games, and it was great when I was a kid, and I would go again if it happened here in Rochester. But 30 years later, how many people remember who were on those Calder Cup teams? I'm talking casual fans. I'll tell you this, there were 10,000 people that were in that arena on Friday night, and saw, for some reason, Mike Catalana talking about it afterwards, that will never forget the moment, that the shock on Brian Giunta's face when that puck went in, and the aw-shucks attitude he had coming over to the bench, because he didn't know what he was supposed to do. Do I celebrate? Do I take credit? Do I give credit to everybody else? The roof blew off the place. It was an amazing moment. He had a game to do it, and he did it. The greatest sports moment in Rochester history.
I think it was fantastic. It's the best I've heard that place.
Things here.
Meh.
Yeah, she scored big goals. I would say that moment was the best I've heard in that building, Kevin, in a long time.
Since the 96 Calder
The
Cup
end of the
championship.
game in 96, to me, of all the events I've ever been to, seeing the end of that game in 96, you were there when they won, was the best sports moment I've seen in Rochester.
Why do you hate Brian?
No, but that's good. I like that. Good.
The Ryder Cup moment was pretty cool, too. Even though the U.S. lost, still a very cool moment. So the baseball season is 2 months away. Allegedly, supposedly, possibly, depending who you listen to, whose threat you believe, we might not have a baseball season. But boy, let's give credit to the politicians. They made sure we got games all winter long. August 29th, the Wings in the county of Monroe supposedly had a lease settled. Here we are, February, 2 months from the season opener, still not signed. Playing politics with the heartstrings of baseball fans is absurd. And what's worse, they're playing politics with money that should be used for something else and should be invested. Instead, here we are just wasting time and twiddling our thumbs. Not good.
Kevin, we've seen this before. At what point does the fan of the Red, do they take this seriously?
I think many fans are taking it serious. Many are worried. I just think, to me, there will be people who vote that say, forget this. You know what? We've supported the Republican Party a long time. We're not going to put up with this. The Democrats, Joe Morelli, he's sliding in on this now, so it's just one political hot potato, and it shouldn't be. Should be done, should just play baseball, play ball.
All right, I'm going to have a hot take for you. And then I'm going to explain why. And here's my hot take. The Bill Belichick, Tom Brady combination will not win another Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying they're not still going to be really good. And I'm not saying they're probably not going to win the division. And I'm not saying they don't have a shot to go back again. I'm saying is there's issues there, big issues. And this is the first time they've had this. I think there's a rift with ownership and the coach. I think there's a rift with the coach and his quarterback, and I think they are in a bit of panic and scramble mode to try to keep things together. Look, they're still really good, and Brady has been awesome, and he was great in the Super Bowl, but he will be 41 next year. And I do believe that the time for this franchise to win it and win it all has come to an end. They lost this Super Bowl. They should have lost the 2 before that, and they did lose the 2 before that. And that's when they had everything going together. The Buffalo Bills are still a long way away from being the New England Patriots. But in terms of stability of franchises, it's sad to say this is as close as the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots have been in the last 15 plus years. The Bills got to get a quarterback. They got to get an offense. They have a long way to go. But it'll help that the Patriots are starting to go down while the Bills try to go up.
And we said at the beginning of the last football season, I remember we came to agreement that when that time comes for New England, that Buffalo's going to be the team that's going to step up and challenge them.
Well, this is a big off season for them.
Yep.
Josh McDaniel coach the Patriots next year?
I think it's going to happen fast. I really do think so, but maybe Belichick's got another year.
This portion of the Rochester Press Box is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Kevin, thanks again.
Absolutely.
Glad to have you. Guys,
Fly,
nice
Eagles,
job.
fly.
Watching those Winter Olympics. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week with the Rochester Press Box.